Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
We had plenty of opportunity on the field to win the game. Plenty of opportunities to win it on the field. Because I've told y'all from day one that we're not going to be given anything. Nobody's going to give us a thing. And if we want it, we're going to have to go take it. We had a hell of an atmosphere today. People are starting to believe in you guys. I haven't lost faith and know that we got a lot of football left to be played. And the way we attack it is by coming in and doing the work and doing it smarter and doing it better. If you guys continue to give us the effort, you guys continue to give the undivided attention and take the things that we put in place, we'll be able to get back on the right track next week.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing safe. This is episode 13 of the podcast. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I turn on my light. Season 11, episode 13 of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. In this episode, we are recapping the University of Maryland Terps football. I know it's been about a week or so since you last saw the last recap. Then the last one was against Michigan, and I completely, again with school and some other things, just forgot. Had on my back burner. I had it written down, all my notes from the win against Michigan State, and this past Saturday we lost to the Purdue Boilermakers. But before we get into that, there's a few things I'd like to say up front. The other two videos they're already up by now. If you had not checked those out already. Thank you for the support you've given me and the podcast. It's much appreciated. Again, I do apologize. This is late. I wanted to record it, but I'm like, let me just get it out the way. But we're going to recap two games in one video. So we're going to start with the win against Michigan State. The first time we beat the Spartans since 2016. The final score was 27-13.
Woo!
You know, in that game, even though it was a home game, it's at now it's even though it's called the Shell, it's now new. Its new name is now the CQ Stadium, and there was some issues first couple possessions, but we persevered. There was the opening game penalty holding call. We went on 12. We ran 12 plays for 93 yards. We had a 7-run lead. As I told you, Maryland's been a running back by committee, but Ramon Hamby is the number one guy, and Antoine Littleton the second. He had his 6th touchdown in that game. Then Michigan, they responded with their touchdown drive. I think they were over 77 yards. And just seeing this offense from Maryland in the Michigan State game, I'm seeing Tua. I watched him really spread the ball a lot. He definitely in that game did a great job getting his teammates involved. He completed a pass to 10 different receivers. His offensive line did their job. They avoided allowing any sacks against the defensive front. There was a couple of times we had to scramble up the pocket, plays outside of it. But one thing I like about Talia is, if I said Tula, I apologize. Talia, excuse me. One thing I love about Talia is that he's creative. If he has to scramble, but his football IQ, he's very aware. He knows a certain situations offensively that to make the plays extend. I do think so. He does have tendencies to do a little too much, but looking at that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me. Now, in that game as well, and you let me bring this up again in the loss to Purdue. We've been having this issue with some of the officiating. When that previous Saturday before we faced Michigan State, we faced Michigan. There were 2 interceptions Talia threw, and one of them definitely hit the ground. And especially in that, if I remember correctly, it was at the end of the second quarter. I think that was a bad call. And against Michigan State, there was another back-to-back, another questionable call, because one thing I've noticed, and this is not just with college football, this is with sports period. I just want consistency. Like, I again, they're bad calls and it's going to happen, but you have to have the mind of a goldfish, and you have to, okay, we got to work around that. We're still proving ourselves as winners. We still have to earn the respect of the referees, because let's keep it real. Referees are biased to certain teams, particularly those that are successful. And those are things we can't control. We can't control the referees. We can't control the calls. And I think sometimes also too, we look to penalties as an excuse for some of the mistakes. And you're going to hear me say that again in the Purdue, and we recap Purdue in a couple minutes. And also too, in that game against Michigan State, they set the tone in the second half. Maryland did, to force Michigan State to punt the ball on its first 3 drives in the second half, and those 3 drives, their offense only lasted 4 plays. And Maryland offensively, we took our foot off the gas, but our defense did enough to make it a 1-score game. And you have to give Brian Williams credit and the adjustments he made in that game, because he definitely made some adjustments. And it was a big win to me, especially in the Big Ten, because when you're playing against teams like Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, we lost 4 straight and 6 of the 7 to Purdue. To Michigan State since 2014, and that was our first win since 2016, as I stated earlier. So you tip your hat off to what Coach Loxley's been doing, but also too was a good win. But I want to really quick. I want to give some context. What I was talking about with that call against Michigan State. So what happened was there was Dante Trader Jr. He had a pick six. It would have gave us a 2-possession lead going into halftime, but they called a defenseless hit personal foul on Corey Coley Jr. And I look back at it. That was a bad call. I think I can't remember. I can't think of the right receiver. And it might have been Jalen Reed, but he sold that call. That was definitely questionable, and it really gave them a field goal, 45 yards. I remember, if I remember correctly, but that's what I'm talking about. Those are the type of things we can't control. And as we now painfully also to look at it this way, Michigan, with the win against Michigan, we were home again, and we played against those Purdue Boilermakers, and we lost. Painfully 31-29.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Okay, where do I begin on this one? There were mistakes. The same thing. Maryland, the best way I could describe the Maryland Terps right now is that there's definitely some growing pains. There's still some maturity that needs to still progress. We're still a young team. You can definitely see it. And even though you've got a good amount of returns and different things like that, every team has its faults. I'm gonna start with our penalties have been an eyesore as watching the Maryland Terps. We picked up a season high 15 penalties, if you remember, against SMU. Go against Michigan, 1 penalty. And I'm thinking like, okay, Michigan State, looking pretty good. But against Purdue, saw those same old habits. Maryland committed 9 penalties that cost us, I believe it was 75 yards. And particularly on the first 2-point conversion that we converted. The call reversed it, and we failed to score on the second attempt, but we lost the game. And those are things that he's preached in his post conference, Coach Loxley. These are things that we have to clean up. I get it. We got to take it one game by game. But I can't keep looking at officiating. I mean, I can listen. If it was the same officiating crew week by week, you have an argument. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again, you're probably doing the same thing. Yes, you're probably doing something wrong. Yes, I understand. There were some questionable calls. Yes, but sometimes you can't let bad calls dictate the game. Yes, they had an impact on us, but when you commit 9 penalties as a team, that to me, that should be more of the focus than the last 2 weeks. Well, Coach Locke needs to say something to the Big Ten. Oh, I understand he should, but I'm not going to ignore, like, we had a chance to tie the game, but then again, bad habits. Like, and he said it, I believe he said, look, we can't control the referees, we can't control the calls. But again, like, there was the when we scored the touchdown, Chad Riley came up with an extra point. And yes, there was an offsides penalty. Refs didn't see that, and it was blocked. And you had to go for the 2-point conversion. Raheem Jarrett was, and then there was the one where Raheem Jarrett was open, but and then threw the flag, illegal man downfield, and then the game was over after that. I just think that, yes, the officiating, you do have to bring up some things. Because, for example, like I brought up what happened in Michigan and then what happened in Michigan State. We can't. This is just, in my personal opinion, I'm not letting. I cannot put blame. I can't look at the refs and say that's what cost us the game. No, we had an opportunity to beat the Boilermakers. We had opportunities. We just didn't execute. That should be the main focus. I'm being honest when I say that. Now, when you look at Purdue as an offense, their passing attack has been really, really good, and they outperformed us because, yes, in the Big Ten right now, Talia is one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. I believe he's right now. I say he's behind C.J. Stroud and Aiden McConnell, and Aiden McConnell definitely let us know he was in the building. Yes, it definitely. What I thought was going to be a high-scoring game, it was in the second half. It was more defense. Both teams had scored 17 points apiece. Aiden O'Connell finished the game with 360 yards with a 73% passing percentage, 2 touchdowns, while Talia, I believe, had 315, 68%, and 3 touchdowns. I wouldn't say Talia was outdueled. Purdue just made the right plays at the right time when we didn't, and that hurt. In the third quarter, we did force 3 turnovers, but once again, offensively in the third quarter, we struggled. We didn't produce any points off the turnovers. That's what I'm saying. There were a lot of missed opportunities. Exactly what I'm saying. Those kind of things. You had 3 opportunities to take advantage of that. Didn't happen. And then when I look at this tight end group, for example, I want to kind of give them some shout outs. I want to give them some love. Check on, I call him Chinogo Okrano. He's with Tennessee Titans. When you've got Corey Dutchess, CJ Dupree, they've stepped up. I know Corey Dutchess was a wide receiver before the end of last season, but he moved to tight end. I believe, and last year he just had, I think it was 3 catches for about 25 yards. And I've seen his involvement in the offense. He is not disappointed at all. CJ, he definitely did well against the game against Buffalo. Like, these guys have really, really stepped up. Between these two, they have, I want to say it's 37 catches on 480 yards and 4 touchdowns. Credit that to Talia spreading the wealth offensively, but it says more of the playmakers that we have on this offense. I really got to give those guys some love as well. Now, I do think that looking at the game, it was a good game, but when it mattered, we just didn't execute. There were missed opportunities that didn't happen, and that's something we have to work on. Especially, we just pull up the schedule really quick. I forgot who we play. I want to say it's off the top of my head. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I want to see who we play. Maryland. We've got Indiana. We got the Hoosiers on the 15th at 3:30. And then we got Northwestern. We got a bye week. Wow, we're really moving right along. And then after that, we got 4 more weeks of football. We got Wisconsin, Penn State, Ohio, and Rutgers. Ohio State, that's going to actually be game of the week. That should be interesting. We look at the standings really quick. As of right now in the Big Ten, Indiana's 500. We're 4-2. Northwestern's 1-5 in the West for the Big Ten. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think the schedule's right where we're starting to play some easier opponents. Now we are playing Ohio State and Penn State, Rutgers. So I'm not going to sneeze at those, but I look at probably Maryland could probably finish. I say they're going to finish strong on that one. But I mean, those are the things that I saw in the game against the Boilermakers. It was a good game. Just disappointed that we had a chance to go to 5-1 against Indiana, but now we're sitting at 4-2, and that's okay. We're going on the road against Indiana, as I stated. Again, there's some things I would like to see cleaned up in the Indiana game. We're on the road, and it's interesting to know he's preached this last year and he's preached it again this year. You know, if we just clean the things up that we need to clean up, like the penalties, be more disciplined, take advantage of the opportunities, we can easily win these games. It's just disappointing to see Maryland have the same habits as a team, and that's going to hurt down the stretch when you're playing teams like Ohio State, Rutgers, for example, because again, I mean, I'm not expecting Maryland to have a perfect game on the defensive side or offensive side of the ball, but you've got to learn how to break those habits, and habits are easy to break. And again, Maryland will be fine against Indiana. I'm not worried at all. If I had to give them a grade as an offense, I'm gonna give them as I stated, there were just opportunities. Those, in particular, third quarter, they just didn't take advantage of. I think everyone had a great game as far as on the offense. Jacob Copeland, I know he had 44 yards of receptions. Dante Demas had a couple catches. The running game really struggled in this game. I think the longest run was about 13 yards. And I think a lot of that because we just couldn't get anything going. So a lot of it was just just throwing the ball. And I felt like we had to beat them throwing the ball. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I give us a solid B-. If I had to give defense, I give them a B. I give them a B+. I'm gonna say A- because they definitely stepped up, particularly like I said in the third quarter. That's what we give them their flowers. But yeah, man, it tough loss. But let's keep our heads up. We're going to be okay Saturday against the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm not worried. I'm not panicking. I know what this team is capable of. I'm just proud Loxley has done for this program, the culture that he's building, and you can just see he's instilling a winning mentality, and he's holding guys accountable. He wants guys to be better. I see from like when he first came here, I was like, I don't know what to really feel about Coach Loxley. I mean, because I'll be honest, when DJ Durkin was here, like after the Jordan McNair thing, may he rest in peace, the culture was just a mess. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that just happened behind the scenes. There was no accountability, and when he came in, I was like, I mean, it's going to take him at least a few years to clean up this mess that was left, and he's definitely he's building this program to be something special for the next few years, and I'm going to give Coach Loxley his flowers on that, but credit to the team as well, because when you have a coach that wants to instill not only success but building a family culture, those things matter, and that's what I love about the Maryland Terrapins. And we will get them. We're going to win this game Saturday. I'm confident in that. You'll see a preview for that. I'm not worried about this loss. I think we did. We got. I think we got some votes to see where we are going to be in the top 25. We are getting some respect. I do appreciate it, but we still got a long way to go. Remember, it's not about the sprint; it's about finishing the marathon, and the Maryland Terrapins are right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually going to conclude this part of the podcast. We are going to move on to our last segment of the show. Let me play my clip.
Incoming message.
There we go. I apologize. There seems to be a delay on my end. Let me try it again.
Incoming message.
Okay, that was weird. I was literally talking and that happened. I apologize for that. As I was stating, my final message is take this opportunity to be grateful for the things that have been blessed upon your life. Um, Life has its ups and downs, but it's what you do to persevere during those moments. And it's your story. Don't let anyone else tell you what you can and can't do. Um, don't let anyone write the story for you, because people are quick to say, you can't do this, you can't do that. But, when I look at some of the things, the opportunities that I've been given, I thank God for that. Being able to do, have create a YouTube channel, be able to do this podcast, being able to network with many great people. I'm just thankful for the opportunities. I'm just thankful that, those opportunities were blessed upon me. And I think we need to be reminded of that. So that's my final message. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for the lag. This just was really crazy on my screen. That's going to conclude the episode. Be tuned in for future episodes. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next episode. I'm hoping to have a special guest on here as we're getting ready. We're moving so moving right along with the baseball playoffs. I'm hoping to have a special guest on in the next episode, so be tuned in for that. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good night. Have a great day tomorrow. It's Wednesday, hump day tomorrow. Oh, I mean, it's Wednesday in the East Coast, but still Tuesday over in the West Coast. But yeah, I'm going to play this little clip out and then we're on our way out. Go Terps. Ooh.
Great job responding. All right. Coming off of a tough loss a week ago, the work you put in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to be able to reap the benefits of it. I'm really proud of you guys. It wasn't always pretty. Obviously, we still got some things to get cleaned up. But I can tell you right now, man, Big Ten wins are tough. And you guys did a great job responding to adversity. And that's what it's going to be all about. Now, we're 1-0 this week. And all we did was earn ourselves an opportunity to play a really good Purdue team here in the Shell next week. We got to get on the tape. We got to get things corrected. But I'm really proud of the effort, really proud of how you responded. And now we've earned ourselves another opportunity, man, one at a time. Let's sing this damn song, man. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Maryland, all I do. Raise high and back go. There's nothing else so glorious as to see our team victorious. We got to see more, we got to see more. Keep fighting, don't give in. L-A-R-Y-L-A-N-D, Maryland, Maryland, woo!
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.